So fair warning, this video is complete bollocks. But if you want to watch along for something to do, be my guest. Following on from part 1, be sure to go and check that out. We have the service manual and we're looking for why our fluorescent display is not lighting up. We'll start at page 30 with our block diagram and see if there's anything to note on there regarding the display. We should have plus or minus 15 as one of the rails, or two of the rails. We should have a minus 22, which is VP. Could that be V panel? I don't know. And then we've got our, there's a 5, a 3.3. Oh, here we go. FL1 and 2. Could that be our fluorescent display? Could be. Right, let's go further down and find out where our display is. There's another, oh, this must be our display here. And what have we got going on? There's a plus 5S. The display should have a minus 15 on pin 1. Okay, and on pin 60. So we've got a minus 15 volts. Each of the pins get driven with a negative voltage as well. So we're looking for minus 15 on the end pins, which I believe is our main, what we need to generate that display. Where does that come from? If we follow that line, so we've got up here F1 and F2, so that'll be filament 1 and filament 2. We have some resistors there that we would need to look at, and a Zener diode which maintains that. There's a couple of Zeners there, so a couple of Zeners that maintain those two. If we follow the F1 and F2 down through here, that comes out to here, which is page 33 B1 283. Okay, well, it's funny how it renames it to FL1 and 2 at this side, but it's F1 and F2 on the other side, so just be aware of things like that. That's coming off our transformer, so FL1 and 2, that's coming straight off our transformer. So as we look into the top of it, there's our transformer, and these two yellow ones are our FL winding. Let's just get an idea as to how much voltage is coming out of there. It's going to be AC right off the bat. .6. Well, that's never going to get to 15 volts, is it? What if we just unplug that and see what it is unloaded, in case maybe it's being overloaded there. 4.7. Well, that's not great. Maybe there's a problem there still. What have we got on our other windings? It might be a good indication. Let's go. Anything coming out of that? Oh, 84 volts. So we know that the transformer is actually getting power. And the blue one's beside it. 68. And what about the two purple ones at the other end? 32. Alright, not too sure what's going on here, but I'm actually getting minus 19 at the front panel on both ends of the display. Does our driver IC have what it needs to run? It probably fed off those VDD, so it should have 5 volts on pin 18 for it to function, and pin 8, and obviously not be held in a reset state. which I don't think it is, because it did show stuff very briefly and then fade out. Checking pin 8 on the back of the processor. 4.6, so it's a little low. It should be 4.8, but it still should be running. Okay, here's something a bit weird. On the front panel there's a CD Direct Amp button. If that's turned off, the display stays on, albeit dim, and we've got minus 16 on there now. But if I turn on that CD Direct Amp switch, the display fades away. Oh, and now we have minus 19. So if I turn it off, it drops down to minus 16. So I guess it needs to be around that minus 15 in order to get some brightness out of it. But for some reason, turning on that part of the system kills the display. But yeah, I can change inputs. It does change on the display. So the display chip is good. So I wonder why. We must have possibly we've got a bad rail somewhere. Maybe we've got more power supply issues and there's something that's not able to maintain itself. Let's look at the other rails in the system back at the start perhaps. It might be a regulator gone bad or something funny. Let's start at the power supply end again. Let's check on our first bridge here. We should have, we got plus and minus 55. That's D120, which is that the big one? It is the big one. Checking on that, we have plus 56 and minus 56. The next one over is individual diodes here, so D116 to 118, and we should have plus and minus 19, minus 20, and plus 19.6. Q130 is just plus 15, and minus 15 off Q131, which we can measure on R219 and R220. Where's R220? And we've got minus 14.8. And there's the other one, and we've got plus 14.8. Oh, right. Is that what's happening here? We've got, this is minus 19.4, minus VP, minus 19, is creating like an offset ground, really, isn't it? So we've only got like 4 volts AC coming in here. So minus 19, take away 4, is going to give us our minus 15 up here, isn't it? So the 4 volts positive is going to offset the 19 volts negative, and up here is negative 15. So we're probably good there. I think we'll pull the panel off and have a close look at it. It could be as simple as a dry joint. We could just be wasting time going through this, but we've checked rails, we're good there. I think the next step is to look for something physical and then evaluate where we are. It's always a bit of a process to remove the front panels on this sort of thing. Always miss one. Is that holding a bracket? Yeah. Right, now hopefully will it come off without taking the knobs off. There's been a bunch of screws up this side and along the bottom. All the knobs have to come off. There we go. And that should come off, yes. Oh, yeah, it actually latches in. Like that. Ah, there we go. There was that flat flex that goes to the front panel. Back of the display panel, and that's one of our pins, pin for our FL connection in. So looking along our display, they actually look okay. That's our other end. And here's our resistors there, and our Zener diodes there. And of course they're okay. That one is. That one is. And what are our resistor values? They're all 270. So we can make sure that they are actually all 270. I've got 70 there, but they're probably in parallel, and 70 there. So something else in circuit. We'll look at our main input flex. Headphone socket, I think. They look alright, and this is our clunky on-off switch, comes into here. Other connectors look okay, they look alright. Well, everything looks okay. That's unfortunate. So I'm looking back at the generation of this negative rail. And here it is. So we've got this transistor Q102. And if I measure these voltages around it, what I'm getting is the D110 there is minus 21.58, so pretty close, 21.6. If I measure on the R164 going to the emitter of that transistor, one side I'm getting minus 36.5, the other side I'm getting minus 36.1, not minus 32. And then of course on the emitter we're getting minus 21, not minus 21.5. So whether that's going to be the issue, could replace Q102 and just see if that has an effect. What happens if I switch on our CD direct mode? Yeah, I get 100 millivolts. So it goes from 21 minus 21 to minus 21.15 at the exact time the display fades out. And when I switch it off, right away it goes back to minus 21, and you can see the display again. Because if that has to go higher in order to see the display, that can't be the problem. Because if I fix that and make it 21.5, then it's going to never get there, is it? We'll never be able to see the display. Oh, I'm lost. I admit it, I'm lost. Maybe the display itself is inherently dead. I'm starting to think I'm probably splitting hairs over the difference between the minus 15 and the minus 21 ground reference. Yeah, maybe it's just a bad VFD. Maybe that slight voltage difference isn't that serious. Only because it's a weak VFD that it's appearing to be that way. So let's try a bit of VFD rejuvenation. It's a bit of a debated subject, but seems to work, in which we apply a voltage across the filament, let them glow just a little, burn off a coating that forms on them, so and then it may emit electrons a little more freely to be able to glow the display better. So we will try that. But I'm going to have to desolder two of those legs at each end. I don't want to apply a voltage to the circuit as it sits. So we'll isolate that and see what happens. You've got to try. She's screwed anyway. So I've got our leads attached. I've disconnected one end from the PCB, and we'll see how it goes. It has a red plastic stuck to the front of it, so hopefully it doesn't make it too difficult to judge how much the filaments are glowing. Okay, here we go. I don't know what a good current is, but there's 1 volt, 2 volts at 80 milliamps, 3 volts, 90 milliamps, 4 volts, 5 volts. I don't see anything happening yet. Ah, there we go, it's better. So 5 volts, there's definitely some glowing effect there. And 6 volts at 130 milliamps, really starting to show. Looks better on camera, trust me, it's not that bright. And I feel a bit of warmth on the screen, I guess. We don't want it to go too crazy. I think I might stop at 6 volts. We'll just let that sit there for a bit. Probably been about 30 seconds now. 8 volts is only 160 milliamps, so it's not huge. Let that run for a bit. How warm is that feeling? Not too bad. Pretty cool. Well, we either killed it or made it better. Okay, did I kill it? Did I make it better? Is there no change? Let's find out. Well, no change. It's not even worse. It's just no change. It looks somewhat good on camera, but... So I found a diag mode, and in the VFD check section, it goes through and it lights everything up, and then it has that's a full brightness and that's a dim brightness. So yeah, that should be full brightness with everything lit up. And of course you can see everything, but it's not really bright. And if I measure the voltage in full brightness mode, we have minus 15.7 on the filament, where it should be 15.3. I don't know how much brighter another few millivolts is going to make, because if I go dim, just to show you how much difference it is. So at full brightness there, I'm measuring minus 15.9, and in half brightness, minus 17.5. So that's a whole 2 volts difference, which tells me that 15.9 to 15.3 isn't going to be that noticeable, is it? It's only half a volt. Maybe the display is actually a bit naffed. I guess the next most important thing though is, does it make sound? That's probably important. I really should put some speakers and a signal into this and see what happens. And signal on. See if we have anything coming out. 1 kilohertz sine wave. And that's at full volume. Half a volt, let's go up to 1 volt. That's still full volume. It's not that loud. Okay, figured it out. Turns out my RCA plug was dodgy. Alright, well, that's good. So that's both left and right confirmed working. I'm going to call it. I don't think there's anything I can do for the display, to be honest. So that's it. I'm going to call it. It works. It's barely readable, but it is readable enough to see what you're doing as far as selecting a source and what have you. And yeah, the guy can use it. It was free, so it's cost him nothing except whatever to get this fixed and turning on. So I think I'll be more than happy with that. Yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry it was uneventful, but probably didn't learn anything. I know I didn't. I mean, I don't have a definite outcome, so I don't know if I was on the right track or the wrong track, or if... Anyway, catch you next time.